These days, who's not heard about e-commerce? It has, within the past half-decade, transformed the very way we live our lives. And now you can get just about anything from anywhere around the world with just a few clicks and keystrokes. Electronic commerce has not just changed the way that people buy things, but also the way that companies sell their stuff. More than just that, the virtual and scalable nature of e-commerce has made it much easier for the individual to start a business and make money from it. In fact, it's so easy to get into that there are dozens of internet startup companies sprouting every week, if not every day. The legal requirements are few and easily accomplished, so it really is a simple matter to get an internet business started. However, the operative word here is started. It's a matter of fact that while many internet businesses get started on a regular basis, the ones that survive for a reasonable amount of time are few. Even fewer of those make it really big. If we were to make an estimate of the figures, we would guess that around 70% of businesses don't make it past 120 days. Of those 30% that make it past the first quarter, 20% are just breaking even, and only 10% are making real money. Needless to say, the ones that make the big time are an even smaller fraction of that 10%. Now, this is not intended to discourage you, the intrepid entrepreneur. In fact, it's supposed to inspire you and encourage you to do your best, which is what this video series is meant to help you with. Those are the facts, at least our approximation thereof. What is needed now is the knowledge to turn those facts into leverage. More than just knowledge, you need the right mindset. It's strange how our personal, non-material assets become more important as we enter the virtual realm. A metaphysical philosopher might be able to come up with something clever or profound for that, but we can appreciate the irony. Nevertheless, one of the most important keys to succeeding in online business is to have the right mindset for it. To understand what it is you need to have, you also need to understand what you don't need to have. There are some myths and popularized white lies, or even a few grey lies, that affect the common person's perception of what e-commerce is like behind the scenes. Yet another ironic thing is that these myths are spread by e-businessmen themselves. It's their way of roping you in. However, the fact remains that these myths and lies have basis in truth, which makes them believable. Aside from knowing what mindset one should possess when going into e-commerce as a business owner and subsequently applying it, one also needs to realize that there is a need for a business plan and model. Just because it's situated in a virtual realm doesn't mean that the requirements are virtual too. An internet-based business is still a business, and that means the need for investments, planning, management, and more. But we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves here. For now, let's just discuss what it means to be in the right mindset for an online entrepreneur. When we talk about attitude here, we're not referring to the swagger or bluff that's labeled attitude nowadays. Attitude is the consistent and often predictable perception towards phenomena and your displayed behavior in response to those stimuli. Basically, attitude is how you think and perceive events and facts, and how you act when given those inputs. Unsurprisingly, the components of an entrepreneur's mindset are similar, if not identical, to those of the mindset of an entrepreneur offline. If anything else, an online entrepreneur picks up where the bricks-and-mortar entrepreneur leaves off, adding things that may not have been required before. To begin with, we have our all-time favorite, perseverance. Now, according to the dictionary, perseverance is a noun that refers to a steady persistence in a course of action, thought, or purpose. Simply, it's the quality of keeping on doing what you need to be doing. This is different from stubbornness, which can be seen as the extreme of this virtue. Making money online is not easy, but the persevering entrepreneur stands a much better chance of success than the one who gives up early on. A peculiarity of the World Wide Web is what influences the need for perseverance. Search engines do not actively search the internet every time someone asks something. Instead, they maintain indices that point to the many websites all over the web. Because new websites and pages are published frequently, the search engines need to be constantly updated, and it could take a while before your website is even listed. What's more, internet traffic volume is a criterion used to adjust the search results position in the list. Now, this means that with low traffic, like at the start of a business, it's unlikely that your business will get high up in the search list unless people look specifically for your business via the name. The point is that if you quit early on, there's no chance for your website to build up traffic, and thus no chance of it becoming a success. So stick with it, even if it seems to become stagnant or a bit too slow. Another component to the mindset is cautious optimism. Now, optimism is one thing, but too much of it makes you blind to losses and vulnerable to cheats and scams. In business, it helps to be optimistic as far as day-to-day feelings are concerned, but when it comes to actually running the business, one has to temper optimism with prudence. It's a balancing act that, when mastered, can improve not just your business, but also your personality and daily attitude. They say that the key to a successful career is to enjoy what you're doing, and this can certainly help you to achieve that. Opportunities might come knocking, but they won't hang around for very long. Decisiveness in business means taking quick and definite action to either seize or avoid opportunities. It takes much discernment to tell which deals are good, as indeed to tell which ones should be avoided. Decisiveness should not be misinterpreted as haste in decision-making. You need to make your decisions quickly, but you also have to think about them carefully, otherwise you could end up losing. And the best entrepreneurs are curious individuals, the ones that seek out answers to their questions or notice things in the world and think about them constantly. Curiosity works in business because it is a driving force that leads one to seek out new things or explanations to current phenomena. In another light, curiosity can become a tool that enables you to observe and draw your own conclusions. You can more easily learn things on your own and thus avoid the influence of others in your business. And then there's this phrase here, anything can be made into a business. You know, if you want to make it big, then you either have to be the best or be the first. Being the first to offer some sort of product or service depends on your ability to spot the needs or wants for these goods or services. That means that one should never give up on thinking that anything can be made into a business. However, a word of caution. Just because something can be made into a business doesn't mean that it should. Be aware of laws that hold true over your location of business, as there may be some less well-known rules that preclude your business opportunity as far as the legality of it goes. You also have to avoid starting businesses on things that you cannot see any possible growth for. A bad idea is an idea that won't get any customers, no matter how long you wait. And finally, there's fearlessness. Now, this is related to the qualities of decisiveness and cautious optimism. Fearlessness allows you to act with no doubt, and thus you can act quickly and efficiently. On the other hand, fearlessness must be balanced with caution, since rash actions can have a negative effect. If you decide to do something, after considering it well, then move forward with no fear in your heart while retaining caution in your actions. In the next video, I'm going to talk you through how to cut through some of the hype that you might have heard about starting your own online business.